Okay. This one talks about the subjects that people really don't want to talk about, which is intimacy during marriage. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, depending on who's talking about it and what you're saying about it. Let's just see. Godly marriage. 1 Corinthians 7 and 9. Marriage and sex. The only time you shouldn't have sex is when you're fasting. 1 Corinthians 7 and 5. That's written in the Bible. So, but before you fast, you have to let your spouse know that you're going on a fast. You can't just say, okay, don't touch me, I'm fasting. It doesn't work like that. That's not how God designed it to be. You have to let them know so that you can either, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Tend to your spouse's needs before your fast, and then you let them know how long your fast will be so that when you come off of your fast and you're done, you can tend to your spouse's needs then. But you don't just go on a fast just for the sake of saying, okay, I'm fasting. You know what God said in the Bible, don't touch me. No. And that's just not for women. Men get in those times in their life when they just, I don't want to be touched. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes. So, but just make sure that if you're fasting, it's the only time that you are allowed by God and God approves you not to be intimate with your mate. Other than that, you're to know your mate regularly. 1 Corinthians 7 3 to 4. But don't use sex as a means to teach your spouse a lesson or to get them to do something around the house. Like if your husband don't take out the trash and he's forgotten to take the trash out for like a day or two or weeks or months or whatever. Well, we ain't gonna be intimate because y'all keep having to take out the trash or no. That's not what it was for. That's not what God said. Just do what God said. If you want him to take out the trash, just ask him. And you take it out. It's not gonna hurt you. When he gets tired of you taking the trash out, gotta deal with it. But don't hold out knowing your spouse because he's not doing something around the house, or he washed his car and forgot to wash your car, and he did your car last. So your car didn't get the really good job, but he has got the best because he used all of his energy cleaning his car. Ask God to deal with him. Well, God allowed him to wash my car first, and then when he gets to his car, he'll take more, same kind of time, precise, and be with it and clean it as meticulously as he did his because it's his car. So let him clean his first. Just always ask God. Don't just go on a rant and rave and just be upset. That's not going to accomplish anything. So don't withhold intimacy with your spouse to get them to do something. Or if your wife is doing too much shopping and you feel like it's too much, ask God to deal with her. Don't take her credit cards. Bad idea. Just be polite about it. Um, we're trying to save for this or whatever the case may be. Just don't say, okay, well, since you done went there and overspent the blah, 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 we ain't gonna be intimate for. No, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do it either. You actually also answer to God, just like the husband is the head of the wife. God is the head of you. So you can't do it either. Um, Intimacy with your spouse is not rewarded, but it is not a reward, but it is required and ordained by God. Intimacy in a marriage is well needed because a woman can caress all the problems and stress of her husband away with a touch. Have you ever just came in one day from work and you were having a really bad day and your wife just rubbed your back and it just like, oh man, the cares of the world just didn't matter because you were home, you're with your family, and you just said, I'll deal with it tomorrow when I walk out the door. That's the kind of wife that God wants you to have in your life. A wife that'll tell you, okay, babe, it's going to be okay. Or when you don't want to talk. She just rub your back or just hold your hand, or you come in and it's been a very, very hard day and you go straight to the room and you just break down and cry. She can cry with you. So make sure that the woman that you choose, God chose her for you. She's a godly woman. And don't just go by appearances, because the most beautiful woman can be so rotten on the inside. Pastor talked about that at church today. Just know what kind of woman you're getting. Ask God first about her. Or she should be able to help you forget about what's bothering you during your time of intimacy. If you and your wife are being intimate and you're still complaining about what the boss said at a meeting 5 hours ago, that's not going to work for anyone. Like, what woman would actually sit and be like, I'll wait. Are you done? You want to get back to what we were doing as husband and wife? Yeah, that's not going to work, because if that were you was putting down your good moves, and she was like, I can't believe she said that my polish didn't match my outfit. And you looking at her like, babe, that's what you interrupted us for? Was to say that? Really? Yeah, so that's not wise. When you're with your spouse and it's time for you to know each other, focus on that. Don't let the stuff on the outside distract you. Um, that's just basically self explanatory. When you're intimate with your spouse, outside things should stay outside. Now, if you want to pick those back up after you and your spouse have known each other, knock yourself out. Not during intimacy. Wrong time to bring up, did you take out the trash? Did you turn the alarm on? Dang, I don't know if I have the right shoes for that suit tomorrow. No, that's not the time to discuss that. Really, really should remember that part. And a husband should allow his wife to touch him and be gentle with her as well. A woman, I don't know too many women that like being roughhoused by their husbands. None of my friends do, so I don't know. I'm not a man, I can't tell you, but what I can tell you from a woman, God made us to be gentle creatures. So, um, women like to be treated delicately and gently. They don't want to be roughhoused, like, oh my God, is this my husband or am I being attacked? So, that's just a little footnote. A wife deals with a lot as well as men, and they need that strong yet gentle touch from her husband to put her to rest. Um, and by that I mean she's had a hard day at work and she comes in and she's like, oh, and you see the stress on her when you come in from work. Don't bombard her with how horrible your day was, and don't even ask her about her. Or notice she's sitting there with the look on her face of, I'm so exhausted, I'm tired of this, whatever the case may be. Go over there and start rubbing her feet, rub her back, or just grab and just take 10 minutes. Just take 10 minutes and just love on her. That ain't got to be intimacy. Just rub her, just tell her, put her head on your chest, and you just sit there quietly. Sometimes, Ecclesiastes 3 and 1, there's a time to be silent. Just be silent. That just may work. So, just know women have a lot that they go through just as well as men. Only allow your mate to drink from your cistern. Um, that's actually self-explanatory. It goes to say no cheating. You don't go in. You don't go to your neighbor's well and get water, do you? Okay then. So the well in your yard, that's the well you need to stay in. Be intimate with your wife, nobody else's wife, just yours, and she's to be intimate with you and you only. Excuse me. I had a long night, work late. For you shouldn't have time or strength to give any water from your well to anyone outside your marriage anyway. I've heard a pastor say this once before, that when God gives you your wife or your husband, they take all of you anyway. So you don't have strength to go and be intimate with anybody else because you're exhausted. That's why I say let God choose your mate, man or woman. Let God choose your mate. Let God choose your mate. Can't say that enough. And praying before intimacy isn't a bad idea. Ask God to show you how to please your mate. But I know sometimes you won't get around to praying first. I know you're probably thinking like, what? Girl, when it's time to get it in, I get it in. I don't be trying to say, oh, Lord, bless this. I'm aware of that. Um, some people have complications with intimacy and pleasing their mate. And those individuals are the ones I'm speaking to as far as pray before you are intimate with your mate so God can show you or tell you how to please your mate. So for those of you, but praying still isn't a bad thing before intimacy. But if sometimes you don't get around to praying first, then thank God after. And if afterwards seems impossible, then thank Him while you shower. Um, if you don't thank Him while you shower, at some point just say thank you God for my wife. Thank you for my husband. Um, that's just simple. It's not hard to do. Communicate with your spouse. Tell them what pleases you and what you don't like. It may seem mean, but you want to do that. Do you want to do that same thing that doesn't turn them on for 20 years and then find out? Like you kissing their neck and they hate it. That's just something they just, it make me feel like it's a bug on me and my neck is wet and, and you've been doing that for 20 years and you thought you was the master of the neck kissing. And then you come to find out they don't even like it. And you're like, well, we've been married for 20 years and you never said anything. Well, you never asked. See where I'm going with that? Yeah. So, this is the thing. Do you want to find out 30 days later or 20 years later? So, or just one time? One time you can move to do what they enjoy. And just say, well, don't be mean about it though. Don't be mean and don't shout at them when you say you don't like it. Suggest, nicely suggest, well, babe, I like it better when you do it this way. Polite. No one gets their feelings hurt. And it opens a new dialogue for communication during intimacy. Some people don't like to talk during intimacy. Some people can't shut up during intimacy. Some people just make noises during intimacy. The thing is to communicate. Tell your spouse what you like. Tell your spouse what you enjoy. Tell your spouse what you don't like. So they won't be stuck doing that unliked thing for years to come. Just stop it right there. Ask them. This is something that you should have talked about while you were engaged. But hey, that's a whole nother subject topic. God bless.